So we had a little technical difficulties there. So we're coming back to you. This is the surprise I was trying to show everybody the other night. And there's our silly spectator. What we're gonna have here is real simple. What we're gonna do is tonight. The other day we made pizza and we made bread with Santino's dough that he made the other night. So now this same dough, you're gonna be able to use it for making pizza or making bread. And this recipe is very, very similar to what is happening, what they use to make it pizza and bread in Italy. So what what you want to see is like a sourdough taste, and you're trying to get that sourdough flavor, right? So there's a couple ways of doing it, and they're much more difficult. You first off, you have to create a mother yeast, you'd have to develop it and feed it and all this stuff. Well, we have the easiest solution for you. It's the same solution that they use at bread making places in Italy. And what they call it is called l'imbasta. And with the imbasta, you're going to use the dough from the previous time that you made dough. You're going to use Santino's going to add in, so he added the water. Now he's going to add in the salt. So he's going to add in the salt. Okay, so remember, so it's 2 1/3 cup of water, of salt, 5 teaspoons of salt, and now we're going to add in the yeast. Okay, and now we're going to bring the handle up, and we're going to start mixing that around because we want that salt and that yeast to really dissolve in there. So let's take a look at what's happening. Go ahead, Santino, turn it up a little bit so we can get this thing moving. Now you see that the salt water and the yeast are dissolving together. Okay, so now, like we were saying, we're going to make the sourdough. So at this point, we're going to add in this bag of the yeast from the day before. You see how much air is in it? Okay. Yeah, turn it off. So Santino's he's gonna hold the phone for a second for me. So this part's a little tricky. So what you want to do is you're just gonna want to flip the bag inside out, get your old dough inside there. So it gets in the water. You got to get in the water. Perfect. Now, Santino's gonna hand me back the phone. He's gonna turn on his machine again. Good job, Santino. And he's going to start to mix it again. Now, that old dough is going to start dissolving in the water and in the salt and yeast bath here. And you see it. Slow down, Santino, so they can see a little bit better. Okay, now we got little clumps and stuff, so we're breaking it up. So now what we're going to have to do is, as that mixes together, we're going to start adding our flour. Now, Santino, what he's going to do is he's going to turn off the machine. He's going to lower our KitchenAid. And this is a larger quart KitchenAid. Dump the first batch of flour in. This is 1 pound of flour going in right now. And we're going to have to weigh it again. All right, there you go. So now he has the 1 pound of flour in, and he brought it up. Now he's going to turn his machine on low first, so to avoid any kind of spraying of flour into your face, right?
That would not be good.
That would not be good.
Because if you're going to splatter flour in your face, it will, like your face will turn white.
Turn white.
White as a bat.
Like a ghost. Okay, so now, what we're going to do is, as that mixes, we have our scale We have our scale here. And now Santino's going to add 1 pound of flour to our scale. He's almost there. Hold on, hold on. Why don't we dump the rest of this too first? See where we're at. Oh, we're getting close, right?
Yeah.
Let's get that a little bit more in there. It's going to get that little bit extra in there. Oh, let's see where we're at. Are we at 1 pound? Is that 1?
Yep.
And we're at 1. Okay, so now at this point, we're going to turn off the machine. And you're going to see that as that sits, now what's happening is it's starting to activate. So what we're going to do is just to make sure it's activated precisely. So Santino, turn it on a little bit higher now. And you're going to turn it up on high just so it activates that yeast. You want to activate that yeast and you want to activate that sourdough. Okay.
Turn it off?
Yeah, let's turn it down now. So now we're going to add, so now Santino's going to turn it down. And we're going to bring our KitchenAid down. And now we're going to add in our 2nd pound of flour. We'll make another video, and you can show people how to make that. So what Maria made, the cinnamon dip that they make at Auntie Anne's, but she made her own version, which I is turning on low. So again, we're starting on low, so that way get an idea that it doesn't get the splashback, okay? So we'll start on low. And at is 100%, okay? We're going to push it down, right, buddy? All right, let's pop it off. Go ahead. Now, you're going to want this dough to rise at least. If you're going to make pizza, if you're going to make bread, this is definitely going to have to double in size before you can actually use it. Okay? So again, this is the same exact recipe, a miniaturized version of the same recipe that you would use to make pizza in Italy. It's the same type of dough that we use to make pizza or to make bread. So it's a very simple. Now what we're going to do is, so we can make sure, now this is going to sit overnight and we're going to allow this to grow all night inside this thing. We're going to cover it. We're going to put a top on it. So it's going to have a cover, and then we're going to wrap it with a nice thick towel, so that way it stays nice and warm. And this, by tomorrow morning, will be doubled in size. And then tomorrow we'll bake this bread. And when we bake it, we'll post up some pictures of the baked bread. All right, Cynthia, let's get the olive oil. So what we're going to do is just put a little bit of olive oil. You see, it's nice. Look how nice. It should feel like almost like Play-Doh, to give you guys an example of what it should feel like. It should feel like a Play-Doh.
It should feel kind of like that.
You should make
Yeah.
gingerbread.
Okay, so now let's put a little bit of oil on there, Santino, and then you can hold the phone and I'll move it around so you don't have to get your hands all. Oh, that's good. That's enough. Way more than enough. You see that? He only added just a little bit over the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my hand over it, like that. I'm going to scoop around the bottom. I'm going to get it all up. And now we got the other side covered with a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're literally going to take this thing here. Let's follow me here, Santino. We're going to put it right here. Hold on, I'm going to get a lid. Just stay right there. I'll be right back. Okay, so now you can see we just put a lid on it. All right, and then what I'm going to do is in a little bit, let's see, turn this around, right? In a little bit, we're going to wrap it with a blanket and a towel, and then that's going to rise overnight. So again, our recipe is 2 pounds of flour, 2 1/3 cups of water, 5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of yeast, and what you're going to need is, if you want the sourdough taste without having to do the mother yeast, you're going to have to save a piece of your old dough that maybe you made a week ago. And so if you make dough once a week, you could save it for a whole week. It's not a problem. Just put it in a Ziploc bag, leave it on your countertop, and when you're ready to use it, the older it is, the more sour it's going to taste. So if it's a week old, that's fine. And then take that piece of sourdough and dump it right into the mix with 2 pounds. But it's the exact same recipe that they use in pizzerias in Naples. And you can see by our pictures that we post with our pizzas, and if you've ever been to Italy, our pizzas look exactly the same. All right. Hey, have a great night. Santino, got anything to say? And what we'll do is, and everybody have a great night. All right, so stay tuned to tomorrow.